Hello everybody, this is Hammer Striker here. Today I've got the Holosun EPS Carry. Please don't forget to check out our website. Go to our affiliates page. You'll find discount codes for things like Mantis Axe and Core belts. Link to that cool little bore light that we use for lighting up the barrels. Use those links. It will often save you money, never will cost you any additional money, and helps the channel. And please consider supporting the channel on Player, formerly Utreon, where we can do some types of videos that are no longer allowed on YouTube. And I've got it sitting on this Shark Coast Tactical 43X. It's a Glock 43X, but it's a Shark Coast Tactical version of it. And Shark Coast, when they made this, they milled the slide for an optic, and it has their setup. So it's got their optic setup, which is an RMSC format, but it's a little different than some others. So this isn't a Glock format MOS setup. And as usual, the only trouble I had was finding the right size screws. But once I had the right size screws, this mounted actually pretty quickly and pretty easily. The EPS Carry is a closed emitter. So you see it's got glass at the back and glass at the front. And it's actually pretty low profile. It has a drawer for the battery so that you don't have to remove it from the gun to change the battery. And that's important because if you take this off the gun, you're going to ruin the zero and you're going to have to re-zero it. So it's nice to not have to remove it from the gun. And there you can see the business end. The optics are glass and the body is 7075 T6 aluminum. The controls are here, plus and minus for brightness. It's a nice looking optic overall. When you move to the back of it, one difference I see on this one versus some of the other closed emitters is that it doesn't go all the way back. It doesn't go all the way back to the back of the optic. So it gives it a slightly smaller footprint overall. It's got a footprint kind of similar to the 507 if you look at it. Now the 507 is not a closed emitter. And of course the 507 is for a double stack gun. The EPS Carry is for a single stack gun. But overall, you don't have that much bigger footprint, unlike some of the different ones that are out there where the closed emitters are much larger. Now, there is a negative to be careful of. The mounting screws are right there, right by the glass. So you have to be very careful when you're working with the wrench or adjusting the elevation that you don't scratch the glass with the tool that you're using. But that's kind of a one-time problem. Once you get this thing mounted and working, you're good to go. So you have to be careful during the mounting process and during the zeroing process. And after that, not really have to worry about it. This particular one is a green dot. And I'm going to cut in a picture of the dot with the camera where I was able to get a good looking picture because of course this is totally blown out. Cameras really don't like red dots very much. But it is a very nice dot. It has 10 levels of brightness, 2 of which support night vision. And you adjust that with the plus and minus buttons. And you don't have to actually turn it off. And by the way, I think I misspoke. It's really 10 daytime brightnesses, an additional 2 night vision brightnesses for a total of 12. It does have the shake awake feature, so you don't turn it off, you just put it away. And when you pick it up, by the time you've got it where it's visible to you, it's turned itself back on and ready to go. The MSRP on this is in the 400s, and it varies depending on the reticle you choose. It comes in an assortment of different reticles, and also the color. This particular one, as you can see, was the green one, but they also have a red variant of it. It is 1.42 inches long, 1.07 inches tall, and 0.95 inches wide. So it's not a very big one, and the window is 0.77 by 0.58. It only weighs 1.23 ounces. So that it is actually a pretty lightweight, pretty small optic for these smaller single stack guns. A couple of the other details, it does click when you do the adjustments. To me that's important because those that just have resistance but don't actually have positive clicks have a tendency to drift. This one stayed zeroed, it didn't drift. It's 1.5 MOA per click. It is an RMSC format as I mentioned, so it's meant for the smaller guns. Things like the Glock 43 that you see it sitting on here if you have one that's been milled. A 48, same thing. The Springfield Hellcat, they actually have optics ready versions from the factory. The SIG P365, guns in that territory, which are becoming quite popular these days. This is also IPX8 rated. And IPX8 is a rating for permanent immersion. So if you drop this in the water, drop it in the pool, and by the time you retrieve it, it's not going to be harmed by water. So overall, it's a very robust and very solid optic. And just a quick view of what comes with it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the box. It's got this kind of this plastic housing inside the box, so it should avoid being damaged. Comes with a cleaning cloth, they all do these days, a warranty card. Pretty good instruction manual. It's decent quality, easy to read, and the matrices of what it'll fit on and what it'll work with. And then inside the box, it comes with a assortment of different screws. They're not labeled, but they're there once you figure out which ones you need. Of course, the optics fit into this well here, and it comes with the tool and a little plate. And I'll show you what you can see of the plate. This thin wafer that you see right here is the plate. And it's a plastic plate. It's really just a spacer, and it's just kind of an isolation layer. It doesn't really need a complicated set of plates like some others do. But overall, when you've got a hold of this and you've got it in a firing grip, it's easy to hold it, it's easy to see it, it's easy to pick it up in the window because it's a decent sized window and the dot really appears. I found it easy to shoot well with this and found it easy to pick up and use. Overall, it seems to be a pretty good quality optic. And it uses the 1620 battery, and it's got about roughly a 50,000 hour battery lifespan. Of course, that varies depending on how much you use it. That seems to be a common place these days, is around the 50,000 hours with the shake awake ability and stuff like that. So beyond that, if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell up there to be notified if you do. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Player, Rumble. We're pretty much everywhere. And thank you.